Welcome to the show. What a result. Well, what result, I'd ask. We can't rule out a Joe Biden win. It's still that close in the US presidential election. Lots of votes still to count. But the odds are just that Donald Trump is re-elected president of the United States. Trump sure thinks he's won, but did just warn half an hour ago that the Democrats, with no real proof that I can yet see, the Democrats could still steal victory from him with fraud.
We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election. We did win this election. So our goal now is to ensure the integrity for the good of this nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list.
What he's saying is he doesn't want anyone to be voting after the election and for their votes to be counted. But Biden also claimed victory.
Look, we feel good about where we are. We really do. I'm here to tell you tonight, we believe we're on track to win this election. We knew because of the unprecedented early vote and the mail-in vote that it was going to take a while. We're going to have to be patient until the hard work of tallying the votes is finished. And it ain't over till every vote is counted.
This is headed straight to the courts, and I think it could get very tense and ugly out there. But let's look at the state of play. It seems the result is probably coming down to 4 states that Trump won last time: Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia and Wisconsin. A couple of others still in doubt, but those are the main 4. If Trump wins Pennsylvania with its 20 electoral college votes, he'll still need to win 2 of those other 3 states I mentioned, and so far is ahead in all of them. Now, we'll go through the battleground states in a minute with Annalise Nielsen and check for any surprises. But if it's true that Donald Trump has won, as he says he has, it'll be the sweetest victory of all. Because it's against the bullies and the elites who most needed to be thrashed. If Trump has won, how we will laugh. For a start, we'll laugh at the pollsters who said that Democrat Joe Biden was going to smash this, like this pollster on the ABC just last night.
First of all, I'm not taking all the polls. I'm just taking the ones that are the good ones. And they're pointing to a Biden lead of about 9 or 10 points, and I think a pretty comfortable electoral college win.
Didn't happen, and it won't happen, even if Biden just does crawl over the line. As leading pollster Frank Luntz said just 2 weeks ago, if Biden does lose, who would ever trust pollsters again?
So if Donald Trump surprises people, if Joe Biden's got a 5 or 6 point lead and then Donald Trump wins, my profession is done. It's finished.
And how we will laugh as well at the mainstream media for hysterically demonising Donald Trump for 4 years, campaigning actively against him, but peddling one bombshell fake claim after another. You know, he'd colluded with Russia to steal the 2016 election. He'd bribed Ukraine to destroy Biden. He'd called white racists good people. All lies, the fake news. And that, again, our ABC pushed out here as well.
Tonight, we begin our special 3-part investigation into the story of the century, the election of US President Donald Trump and his ties to Russia.
Utter fake news. The media's one more profession that is done and dusted in terms of reputation if Donald Trump wins. And how we'll laugh at the race baiters who insist that Donald Trump was a racist, only to see him winning over so many black and Latino votes that has probably won this election. Don't know, we'll see. And how we'll laugh at Facebook and Twitter, who must now face an inquiry after shamelessly suppressing posts that hurt Joe Biden, like posts about his son selling access to his father, while meanwhile censoring tweets by Donald Trump. Howell also laughed at the Democrats for picking a candidate who was so old and frail and forgetful at times that they hid him in his basement for days on end during the campaign.
Oh, the rapidly rising I don't know.
And while Biden was searching for his words, Trump was searching for huge crowds at his campaign rallies, 4 or 5 a day in the battleground states that could have proved decisive, those rallies. But above all, we laugh at the left for once again being shown that terrorising Conservatives does not win elections, but could lose them. And this must be a moment of truth for the left. Biden's loss, if Trump holds on to Pennsylvania in particular, that will shock them, but it fits a pattern that damns the new left and its culture of intimidation. Pollsters did not predict Trump's first win 4 years ago. They did not tip what could be Trump's second win. They did not predict that Britain would vote to leave the European Union, and they did not predict Scott Morrison's win here last year. And you see the pattern here? Isn't it obvious? The polls didn't pick any of those Conservative wins because, in part, many Conservatives have learned that it's not safe to say what they really think, even to a pollster. Who can blame them? In America, they've seen the media spend 4 years abusing Trump supporters as racists and white trash, while leftists rioted from the very day that Trump was sworn in as president. They've seen newspapers like the New York Times fire journalists who offer even a right of reply to Conservatives. They've seen mobs of leftists torch American cities and menace or bash people who did not back their cause, while Biden's staff and his running mate Kamala Harris, they actually raised bail money for rioters who were arrested. Conservatives have seen also even children being punched for wearing Trump caps or having their Make America Great Again caps stolen by leftists.
That's somebody else's hat. I just wanted to sit on the. We don't give a Mom.
Honestly, it's crazy. Even in Australia, we've seen news organisations refuse to hire a single Conservative commentator or presenter. The ABC, The Age, SBS, The Guardian, crikey, I could go through the list. We have seen TV stations, writers' festivals and bookshops all dump commentators who outrage the left by speaking their mind. In America, academic after academic who've said a conservative thing have been fired or censored by the universities. But guess what? People hate being bullied. They hate being threatened and abused. And the ballot box is still the one place that they feel safe enough to say, get stuffed. And in America, such people see Donald Trump as their hero. He has called out exactly those bullies. No Conservative leader in the West has more explicitly posed as the underdog and the enemy of the elites. Trump called out the fake news media to its rage, and he was right.
Go ahead. Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are attacking our news organization.
Your organization.
Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
can you state categorically,
she's asking a question.
Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
no,
give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Trump also called out the climate alarmists to threaten the jobs of blue-collar workers with their new religion, while Biden foolishly promised to actually ban fracking and end the oil industry.
Would you close down the oil industry?
By the way, I would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I would
that's
transition.
a big statement.
It is a big statement.
That's a
because
big statement.
I would stop.
Why would you do that?
Because the oil industry pollutes.
And Trump called out the race hustlers, mocking Senator Elizabeth Warren correctly as a fake Indian. He also banned federal agencies from running training on white privilege, the kind of obnoxious hectoring that most people suffer through in scared silence. How often have you had to do that with these welcome to country stuff and all that kind of thing. Welcome to your own country. Trump called them all out, these bullies and these hustlers and these patronisers and these rioters, the finger-wagging, nagging journalists and the haughty experts. Can you think of a single Conservative leader in the whole Western world who's had that kind of guts? Scott Morrison? Even Boris Johnson? Now, at times it did look like Trump had made more enemies than a wise man should, and that he could possibly survive, especially when Twitter started to meddle with his access to his 87 million followers. And Trump didn't help himself with his crudeness. In fact, by attacking the late Senator John McCain, a Republican and a hero in Arizona, well, that may have cost Trump that state. 13 electoral college votes gone. He also hurt himself badly by playing down the coronavirus that has now killed 230,000 Americans.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want to create a panic.
In fact, Trump played down the danger so much that he caught the virus himself.
I came here, wasn't feeling so well. I feel much better now.
Still, that could have helped him in the end, you know. Made it seem like maybe the virus wasn't quite as deadly as Joe Biden kept insisting by waving that face mask around the country, like this was his plan for the next 4 years, keep America in face masks. But if Donald Trump does win now, it'll be with the support of exactly the kind of marginalised people that the left was once proud to represent and is now sold out. I mean, blacks and Latinos voted Republican this year in numbers rarely seen. Blue-collar workers deserted the Democrats. The oppressed fled their new oppressors of the left. And Trump may have won again. How we laugh.